Now, it's a story which is emblematic of the conflict between nature and man. The woods and scrublands of Lodge Hill in Kent are earmarked for 5,000 new homes. But the site is already a home to the country's largest colony of nightingales. Environmentalists say redevelopment will destroy this very precious pocket of wildlife for good. In the last of our series of reports about the plight of Britain's nature, environmental journalist and author Michael McCarthy voices his fears about the price nature is paying for progress.
We live in a remarkable and troubling time for the natural world, with nature under threat as never before. My name's Michael McCarthy. I've spent many years writing about the British countryside, and during my career as an environmental author and journalist with the Independent newspaper, I've seen much of our wildlife fall into rapid decline that's happening in front of our eyes. And one of the most critical of these declines can be seen in the quite extraordinary losses of our summer migrant birds, the birds that come here in the springtime, having spent the winter in Africa. Ted Hughes expressed it stunningly when he said, "They're back," which means the globe's still working. Well, is the globe still working if the migrants are not returning? It's a clear sign that something's going wrong at the heart of things, and it's happening within our lifetimes. Perhaps the most notable of the summer migrant birds which are declining in Britain so catastrophically is the cuckoo. This is Wicken Fen in Cambridgeshire. This was once one of the best sites for cuckoos in the whole country. But last year, no cuckoo chick was raised from Wicken Fen, certainly for the first time in living memory, but probably for hundreds, if not thousands of years. In 4 decades, we have lost 3/4 of our cuckoos. But some are doing even worse than the cuckoo is. This is a turtle dove. This one fell victim to the Victorian mania for shooting things, but for most people in most parts of Britain, a glimpse of a turtle dove in a glass case is as good a glimpse of one as you're going to get. The time of the singing of birds is come, and the voice of the turtle is heard in our land. The turtle dove has declined by a staggering 93%, and if the decline continues, it will be gone from Britain in 8 years' time. This is a bird which is on the high road to extinction. These declines of these much-loved birds, which have meant so much to so many people down the centuries, are truly desperate. They're enormous. And I'm sometimes bemused that there isn't a public outcry about them. And I think the indifference could be best exemplified by this place here, which is Lodge Hill in Kent, the single best site in all of Britain for the most culturally resonant of all the spring migrants, the nightingale. It's gone down by 91%. And this wonderful site is going to be swept away. One of Britain's biggest ever housing schemes is going to be plonked down here of 5,000 new homes, but it's going to destroy one of the most valuable wildlife sites in the whole of the country. It'll be one of the starkest reminders we could have that it is indeed human activities which are behind the declines of our wildlife. I think that sometimes you've got to say, enough is enough. Do we really have to have our economic development at the price of destroying wildlife, which has meant so much to people down the centuries and is such an enormous part of our culture?
Well, Lodge Hill, which was identified in Michael McCarthy's film, is being developed by Land Securities. We asked them for a comment, but they referred us to Medway Council. They said in a statement, "We fully understand there are concerns around the effect bringing in new housing developments is having on the bird population across the UK. In fact, we have a very good track record of defending the environment. The government owns this land and its agency, Land Securities, are seeking to develop it. Ministers and Land Securities need to work out a solution, not the council."